Can I ask you a question? Are you supplement obsessed? If I were to come over to your house right now and look on your cabinet, in your cabinet or on your countertop, would I find lots of different bottles of supplements? Are you the type of person that if you see someone talking about a supplement, you just automatically go out and buy it and you just gathered up a large variety of supplements that you take daily or on a routine basis? If you're like, yeah, that's me, then stick around because I'm just going to give you some things to think about when we just try to navigate like which supplements are actually needed and the fact that so often we waste our money on supplements that we really don't need or that aren't good quality. So stick around because I'm going to help you with what supplements should you actually be on. Let's go. So the supplement industry has grown a lot in the last, I would say, 10 years or so. The 2018 statistics reveal that 77% of US population is on supplements, some type of supplement. And the average rate actually increased from $46 median to $80 median over the last 10 years on how many supplements or what the expense is of the supplements that people bring into their home. And I would say that from 2018 to 2022 at the time of this recording, that I'm sure it's even more than that because supplements are something that can definitely be needed at certain times in our life and in our healing journey and as support, to maybe a more stressful season or whatnot. But what I often find is that people just see blanket recommendations of supplements or they see someone talking about a supplement that really helped them. And so they think it's really going to help. It's really going to be a great help to themselves. And so they just go ahead and order that supplement and continue to take it for months or even years without really knowing if it's right for them. They just think if it's good for them, then it must be good for me. And it can really take you to this place of just really chasing your tail, trying to, you have these symptoms, whatever it might be. There's so many that we can have, and we just think, oh, I just need another supplement for that. What's going to be the supplement that I need to get rid of that? When in actuality, if we are moving towards restoring our body to its original function and to really that best help for ourselves that we want, if I were to ask you, you'd probably say, yes, I want that. But are we actually moving toward that? Or are we just kind of putting band-aids on these symptoms? Because, if you're watching this video, I would say that you probably would answer this question, yes. Like, are prescription medications a lot of the time band-aids? Yes, you could probably say, I can see that. But if I were to ask, do you feel like supplements are band-aids? You might be like, well, I don't know. I didn't think they were. But in actuality, sometimes that's what they're used for. And again, we have so many, especially with the last 2 years, as far as the pandemic and such, and seeing these blanket recommendations for immune support, and lots of people just diving off and going on those protocols for long term, right? Not talking necessarily short term here. And that's kind of my first question. When you think about, do you need the supplement, is it for long term or is it for short term? And oftentimes we don't really know. We just want to try the supplement or we're going off a blanket recommendation that somebody has given us. And so we don't really have a set time that we're going to be on the supplement for. And that's kind of the first thing that I want you to consider, because if you're going on a supplement, it needs to be for a specific reason, right? For a specific thing that you're dealing with for a specific amount of time. Because if we just continually stay on the same supplements, are we really getting closer to our best health? Are we really moving closer toward being healed? Or are we just taking a lot of supplements, some we need, some we might not need for the long term? Not only is that costly, but it can just be overwhelming to feel like you have to keep up the supplement routine if you want to feel good. That's not really the goal. The goal is to restore proper function to your body so that you can alleviate these symptoms that you might be feeling and just feel better than you have in years. Like that's the goal. So that's one thing that I want you to consider when you think is which ones are actually needed. Is it for long or short term? Consider the quality as well. And whenever you might see a blanket recommendation of supplements, or you see somebody talking about a supplement and you think, well, I'm just going to go out and get that. And you might go to CVS or Walmart or Walgreens or whatever it might be and pick that up. But that, to me, it's just kind of a blanket statement. Going out and picking up things like that from a store is probably not going to be your best bet, because the quality just isn't going to be there. Purchasing them from some sort of dispensary, as far as working with a practitioner on quality supplements, or just going with a reputable company that their quality standards, is going to be really important, because supplements can be filled with a lot of junk, just a lot of fillers, heavy metals, even some sort of poisons, honestly, are filled or put in, supplements. And it seems kind of crazy, like, why would they do that? There's lots of times, like, high fructose corn syrup in a lot of supplements, and you think, what? This supplement said it had calcium and magnesium or whatever it might be, but it's got all these other things in there that are not needed. And so I certainly don't want you to waste your money on anything that A, is not quality, or B, that you don't need. So I just want to encourage you to look at what you're taking and think, is this really the best quality? Like, if you are taking it because you have a need for it, then you need to look at the quality as well. And of course, long or short term quality, those are two important things. Also, you need to look at what else is this going to affect, because if you're mega dosing with a certain vitamin or mineral, that affects everything else. Minerals affect all other minerals. So if you're, for instance, something like zinc, that affects other mineral balances that could not be great in the long term. So that's just something that I want you to consider as well when you think, do I actually need this? And is it something that I need to be on long or short term? What else is this affecting is another great question to ask. And then lastly, is it right for you? Do you really need this supplement? Because again, I think that we've moved from maybe the quick fix of medications to thinking that we need a supplement for everything. And while, yes, granted, that is probably in the right direction, it's not necessarily fixing the issue. It's just sort of a nicer looking Band-Aid, let's say. Not all the time, but a lot of the times that's what I see. And so just really thinking and doing some research, and sometimes this can get really tricky if you're not working with someone like a practitioner, because you don't really know what you need. And you're just kind of throwing darts at a random target. And so that's something that you might want to consider. And how would you go about doing that? I really find that a hair tissue mineral analysis test is a great place to start as far as deficiencies go, for sure. Now, there are lots of other supplements that could be used for things like detox, or stress or mood, or things like that, hormonal support, specific organ support. So there's lots of different areas that we can use supplements for, but I want you to be strategic about what you're using supplements for. And again, evaluate, what's the quality of this? A longer short term, am I going to use it longer short term? How is this going to affect everything else, whether it might be medications or just mineral or nutrient balances? And ultimately, is this right for you, this supplement that you are thinking of adding in? And so I will say that so often we stay in the DIY territory, if you will, for a while on this. And not that that's bad. I think we all probably start out there to some degree, but it can get off road a little bit as we're going through, because of course you can see different improvements. But if you've been on something for years and years and years, and you still have to take it, or you realize that you didn't take it, let's say, then you still have some underlying issue that is causing your body to be out of balance. And while a supplement can be good to help in the interim, I think it's really important to consider, am I getting to the real root issue, or am I going to have to stay on this supplement my entire life to feel good in this area? I think that is very important. And also blood work can help with this, looking at blood work in sort of a integrative or functional view, in in that way, in a viewpoint from just what root causes are going on and how can we address these versus just continue to add on supplement after supplement to help with X symptom. So that's just a little bit to think about when you are evaluating what supplements do I actually need, and kind of realizing, okay, I might be a little supplement obsessed. That's okay if you are. I would just, sometimes it's really helpful to write everything down, because we take a little bit of this and a little bit of this, and we just have a lot, right? If your cabinet is full, maybe write down everything that's in there, how often you take it, what dose you take it, and just sit back and look at it and think, okay, I'm taking this for this, and okay, I've got that, and I'm working on a root issue for this and that, so in your mind it makes sense, versus just adding on these random supplements and really finding yourself going, in this on this hamster wheel, and not necessarily really addressing the root cause of what is causing those symptoms that you're using supplements for. So I hope this has been helpful. And just one more thing that just popped in my mind. The problem, especially with deficiencies and like multivitamins and other like supplemental type things like that, we have to realize that in essence, toxicity that we're exposed to and that's built up in our tissues, it causes deficiencies. And so that's just one example of a root cause issue that is going to continue to cause you other issues down the road. Another one is things like parasites or mold or different bacteria that are overgrown. Those are going to continue to cause you issues that supplements might help with, but in the long run, you still have the leaky pipe that's causing havoc in your home, and you can like plug it up all you want to, but if you don't fix the issue, it's still going to be leaky. So hopefully that helps you to see more of a bigger picture with this, and I would love for you to let me know what questions you have. I will try to help. Of course, I can't give specific advice in the comments, but that's exactly what I do when I work with people. I go and look at their blood work. I look at their signs and symptoms. I look at a hair test that we're going to do just to see exactly what they need to be on for how long, and what sort of the game plan is to, again, get them to where they want to be, restore the function of their body so that it functions properly. And so that's what I do when I work with people one-on-one. And if you want to go check out ways that we could work together, you can always go to my website, karicoody.com/work with me, and you can see the different options there, and you can message me, and I can definitely help you with that if you're trying to decide what might be best for you. But I absolutely love working with people in this way and just really helping them get down to the absolute root issue of their problems, and really giving them a specific plan, because that takes a lot of stress off them. Trying to figure everything out can be stressful. And so if you find yourself to that place, find somebody to work with, whether it's me or somebody else. I really think that is the smartest thing to do, especially if you are just really struggling still with a certain issue and you've tried almost everything. It's probably time to work with someone to get more of a personalized protocol for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.